So starting off this list with the 10th best brawler, I went with Lily. So you guys might be surprised, but I think that Lily is a very good brawler, especially in the draft as a late pick. The reason why Lily is so broken is because of her hypercharge. So a lot of players underrate Lily's hypercharge so much, but her hypercharge makes her super so fast that you can't miss it. You can even auto-aim your super and will still land onto an opponent. And after you teleport onto an opponent in a 1v1, you will 100% win against any brawler when you use your hypercharge super. Lily gets her super and hypercharge through her supercharging radius. A really good thing about Lily is her gadget. It allows Lily to sneak up to vulnerable brawlers and kill them with ease, which can cause so much chaos in game modes like Brawl Ball, Gem Grab, or even Heist, because Lily is a very good damage dealer to the Heist safe. So yeah, Lily is one of the most underrated brawlers in this meta. She's so good, and I advise you to max her out.
So next up in the list with the 9th best brawler, I went with Bee. So a lot of you might be surprised that Bee is still in the meta, but she was actually one of the most picked in recent tournaments like the Brawl Cup. After they reworked gadgets and she can just spam out her gadgets 14 times per match, even if they keep nerfing the gadget cooldown duration, Bee can still get free pressure with her gadgets. Bee is also very good at countering tanks and assassins. That's why she's very good in aggressive game modes like Brawl Ball. Her hypercharge is actually very slow to charge, but when you get it, you can just get a free team wipe or insane control over the map, which is sometimes enough to win you games. Bee's damage output is insanely high. That's why she's good in pretty much all the game modes, the passive and the aggressive ones. The pros are just picking her too much right now. When playing Bee, you should try to kill the biggest threats first, like tanks or assassins, and then try to kill weaker threats like damage dealers because they don't have the range to kill Bee.
So now moving into the 8th best brawler in the game right now, we still have Lu. So Lu has been one of the best brawlers in the meta ever since they buffed his reload speed. His reload speed allows him to cycle through his supers more. It allows him to hit more shots or to just deal more damage to opponents. Lu is also very good in the meta because there aren't really any good tanks counters. But Lu is one of the brawlers who counters tanks like Primo or Hank pretty heavily. He can kill tanks or any short ranks brawlers using his freezing ability. It's just one of the strongest ones to counter any sort of aggression. He also has a very long range, which helps him to not only counter tanks and assassins, but he can also deal damage to those long range brawlers like snipers or damage dealers. His hypercharge has always been one of the best ones in the games ever since it was released. The ability to freeze brawlers instantly is just too broken, and he can also cycle more than one of those hypercharge supers.
So the 7th best brawler in the meta, we have Gus. So Gus has finally returned to this list, thanks to his hypercharge. So he was already a very good brawler, but he wasn't really being played too much by the pros before his hypercharge. You can cycle his hypercharge very quickly, and you can deal insane amounts of damage using it, and it can also heal nearby teammates. Gus can beat other snipers, although he's technically a support brawler, which is thanks to his shield and his gadget, you can confirm a lot of kills easily with it. His main attack projectile is the easiest main attack to hit out of all the snipers. It's just very wide and fast that you rarely ever miss it. So of course you're going to be cycling more supers, of course you'll get more hypercharges. So yeah, Gus is always going to be that one underrated brawler, especially when you see him in game modes like Gem Grab and Brawl Ball. That's when you know that he's very good in the meta, because he normally gets countered by assassins on those game modes.
So now moving on, the 6th best brawler in the game, we have Buster. So I might be overrating Buster a little bit, but Buster is actually very good in this meta. He's very good in all of the passive game modes like Gem Grab, Hot Zone, Knockout, and even Bounty. He's also very good in most of the maps in the current map rotation. He's probably the best pick in Knockout because what people do most of the times is that they group up until the gas closes in, and then Buster uses his super, which prevents the enemies from hitting his team entirely. His gadget is also one of the best ones in the game. It helps him to get a free kill on pretty much all the brawlers in the game, and he can sometimes team wipe the enemy team with just his gadget. He also deals a lot of damage, which helps him to kill opponents on his own without any help from his teammates. He has a lot of HP, so you can also consider him as a tank. In Gem Grab, he can use his shield to protect his gem carrier so that he wins most of the games in Gem Grab. Buster just seems like the perfect brawler in all of the passive modes.
So at number 5, we have Kenji. So I kind of want to put Kenji in the top 3, but I just want to avoid overrating him. So they actually tried to nerf Kenji, But I don't think that the nerfs that he got did anything. I still think that he's one of the best brawlers in the meta. The biggest nerf he got was the hypercharge charge rate. It's now a little bit slower, but the hypercharge itself is still very broken. You can literally team wipe any comp in the game easily. You can play him in all the game modes and still get those team wipes with his hypercharge. He also has a lot of mobility with his main attack, which helps him to climb up the map and get to those snipers pretty easily. You can play recklessly with Kenji knowing that his gadget can heal you up instantly in case you're low on HP. Try to hit as many brawlers as possible with Kenji's super to try and get his hypercharge quickly so that you can kill your opponents over and over again until you win. I suggest you to max him out and pick him more in your rank matches.
So at number 4, I went with Chester. So Chester is just very good in the meta because he's probably the best counter to tanks and assassins, which are pretty relevant in the meta. His hypercharge is insanely strong. It one-shots pretty much all the brawlers in the game. Even if you miss the hypercharge super, you can still get a lot of value with the spray that comes after the explosion. Chester is a very good damage dealer and he has a pretty good range as well. You can pick him in aggressive game modes, but he can also work in some passive game modes like gem grab and some bounty maps as well. You can pick either one of his gadgets, but I always prefer the gadget that lets you change your super in case you don't need it. You can use the other gadget if you can get value with all the supers anyways. Try to pick Chester in close and mid-range maps. Don't make the mistake of picking Chester in long-range maps because he doesn't have the range for those maps. So yeah, he's a pretty good damage dealer and counter to any sort of aggression, so I highly suggest you to max him out.
So now starting off with the top 3 brawlers in the game, we have Finks. So Finks is insanely underrated right now in the meta. If you take a look at his win rate, you'll find it pretty high. What that means is that the majority of players don't even realize how good Finks actually is. In pro matches, he was the most picked brawler. The reason why Finks is very good is because of his main attack. It has some good range, and his reload speed is very good, especially after the reload speed buff he got a couple of months ago, which allows him to deal more damage a lot faster. His gadget helps him to go up the map and waste all 3 of his ammo, and then instantly teleport back to heal up. His super is probably the best super inside the game. The super equals free control, because the opponents have to run back and they can't shoot your team while you and teammates can shoot them easily. I've said it multiple times, he's insanely underrated and will remain strong for a long time, so make sure to consider maxing him out. So next up in the list, the second best brawler in the game, I went with Hank. So Hank has been just getting better and better in the meta ever since they released his hypercharge. His hypercharge has been nerfed in a past update and it's not that good anymore, but the good thing about it is that you get it too often in matches. You can get your hypercharge up to 4 times per match, which gives you a lot of stats boost throughout the match. Although Hank is a tank, but he's a pretty good counter to throwers by just using his main attack. His shield gadget is pretty good and it helps him win a lot of interactions, but the other slow gadget is very underrated. It helps him to kill any brawler in the game with ease, or to just help his teammates win a lot of interactions. Assassins and tanks can't even counter him because he can kill them instantly using his super if they got too close to him. Not only does his super help him to win interactions against assassins, but it also allows him to heal up instantly in case he got low on HP. So now moving on to the best brawler in the game, it's still Lumi. So although they nerfed Lumi, but she's still the best brawler in the game, and I don't think the nerf affected her too much. Lumi can still deal insane amounts of damage, she can still throw out her attack pretty quickly. The main thing that makes Lumi insanely strong is the insane amounts of damage you can deal in such short times. With the slow on top of the damage she deals with her main attack, makes her main attack just busted. Even assassins and tanks who should counter her struggle a lot to kill her. She's very good in pretty much all the game modes. There's no game mode where you can't pick Lumi. She's also good against pretty much all the brawlers, so you can just pick her in any situation and still manage to win the game. I think even if they nerf her, the fundamental mechanics of the brawler are just too good and will always remain one of the best ones in the game. I highly recommend you to max her out and abuse her before she gets nerfed.